Gentlemen, the American jury and Bulldog Nation, I have to continue my commentary on what's going on because, let's face it, the presidential election is topic A. There's no need for guests, and there's no need to discuss legal issues, which everything is trivial compared to what's going on right now in our country. I would like to begin by saying I was glad to hear President Trump come out last night and address the country and indicate that he clearly intends to fight on. I mean, I don't think there's any question about it. He's not going to yield. And I want to also point out that President Trump owes the media and the left absolutely nothing. He has every right to fight for the presidency. It happens to be the presidency of the United States, not only for himself, but the over 60 million people that voted for him. And he should fight. Something that I've always just absolutely hated about the Republican establishment is their wimps. You know, there were precincts when Romney ran for the presidency in Philadelphia where he got like no votes. No votes. And it's just absurd how the Republicans are wimpy as hell. Trump isn't. And during the last 4 years, they've been like Trump's friend, Trump's ally. Then they were on a run from Trump. What happened on election night with the House picking up seats, and it looks like they are going to hold on to the United States Senate, wouldn't have happened but for Trump. It wouldn't have happened but for him. And thank goodness for Cruz and Lindsey Graham and others who are coming out strong for him. But look at people like Mitch McConnell, the Senate Majority Leader. You know, these people benefited from the election night. Every Republican in the country ought to be rallying to Trump's aid. Chris Christie's one that really cracks me up. I'm hoping that Trump finally kicks him to the curb. You know, the guy who gave him bad debating advice, and then he gets COVID and says, oh, maybe we should take this more serious. And now he's saying, oh, Trump shouldn't say these things. Folks, in our history, Bush v. Gore, Hayes Tilden, and other times, there has been a delay in the selection of the president. Now, let me tell you what I think is going to happen from here in light of the president's statements. They are going to build a case in each of these states for a Supreme Court decision. And I don't want any of you all to get discouraged by a state decision or a lower federal court decision in any of these states, because they're meaningless, just like in Florida when there was state court action, federal court action. It's all going to end up, if Trump fights, it's all going to end up in the United States Supreme Court, and they will decide who's the president of the United States. Now, what Trump is going to do, and it's clear to me that he's going to be able to find lots of evidence of this, is the voter fraud. It is a state law that says that there can be partial observers, and they block them. So what do? And I'm so tired of this when one of these pundits says, well, they haven't found any evidence. Well, so far, nobody's come forward and said, well, we stuck this big pack in here. They can do that so easily. I mean, these are professional gangsters. Philadelphia, Madison, Wisconsin, Atlanta, Georgia, Detroit, Michigan. These are political gangsterisms. They're kingdoms. The corruption out of these places is amazing. And they're fully capable of doing whatever the hell they want and just daring the Republicans to do anything, which they usually don't. But Trump will. Now, here is the strongest case that Trump has. When the Pennsylvania Supreme Court case landed on the Supreme Court's, the United States Supreme Court's desk, on a 4-4 vote with Roberts voting with the liberals, they decided not to take up the issue of whether or not these votes can be submitted and counted after Election Day. Do you know what Alito wrote? Alito wrote that says, man, this is dangerous. We need to deal with this now. Boy, was he a prophet. So now when it comes back up, there's one less Democrat on the Supreme Court, and there's one more Republican on the Supreme Court, and we'll see what happens. Here is how all of this goes Trump's way, because this issue applies to every state that they're stealing from them. Can you imagine what it's like to be a President Trump or a Trump supporter? I know what it's like to be a Trump supporter. He's leading on election night. 1 o'clock, all these states stop counting their votes. Then when they start counting their votes, these 7 or 8 different states, all the leads start evaporating. Except Arizona, where there's a Republican governor. All these other states are controlled by Democrats. Now, here's how he's going to win at the Supreme Court if he fights it all the way. And by the way, it'll all be decided by year's end. All of this will get decided by year's end. Here's how he wins. The issue of the mail-in ballots, when they're received, when they're counted, so forth and so on, will undo these razor-thin margins. In addition to that, if the Supreme Court says any vote that's tabulated based upon them blocking impartial observers is also a factor. But they've already had this Pennsylvania case, and that issue is applicable to lots of these other states. So it's going to be interesting, but that's how Trump still wins. The U.S. Supreme Court, the final arbiter of these disputes. And those people that don't want him just to give up and he needs, really, look what they've done to this guy. Look what they've done to him. I hope Trump fights to the bitter end. It's not the end of the world. Trump's still the president of the United States. Everything's still under control. The military's fine. Everybody's fine. He's going to be president up till January 20th anyway. So give me a break. Don't lose hope. If Trump decides to fight this battle, and it looks like he is, it's going to the U.S. Supreme Court. And the U.S. Supreme Court will determine who wins. By the way, if Clarence Thomas is thinking about retirement, you think he wants a Biden president? Nope. So Alito, Kavanaugh, Gorsuch, Amy Coney Barrett, if they give them oh, by the way, some of these people are saying, oh, they're not going to find enough evidence, to present. Are you kidding me? I've been watching this. They got all kinds of evidence of funny business. I mean, it's actually sickening to watch. Ladies and gentlemen, the American jury and Bulldog Nation, Trump can still win through the Supreme Court if he decides to, and it looks like he's decided to. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. Have a great day.